Today's headlines. Health Secretary Francisco Duque says President Noynoy Aquino should clarify his involvement in the dengue vaccine fiasco. The autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao launches a 6-year development blueprint to boost growth in the region. A town in Pangasinan aims to beat the world record for the biggest rice cake mosaic. And police undergo spiritual reformation by reading the Bible as the PNP rejoins the war on drugs. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III on Thursday called on former President Benigno Aquino III to clarify the mass dengue vaccination program that was implemented during his term. Duque said it would be better if Aquino would help shed light on what transpired prior to the Department of Health's launch of the program back in April 2016. He cited in particular Aquino's meeting with officials of vaccine manufacturer Sanofi Pasteur back in December 2015 before the school-based vaccination program was rolled out in the Philippines. Duque said he believes that Sanofi was not being totally transparent when it explained the potential ill effects of the dengue vaccine. In its recent media conference, Sanofi officials downplayed the supposed definition of severe manifestations of dengue. Meanwhile, Duque said that they are not yet ruling out the possibility that a recipient of the dengue vaccine in Bataan had died in October 2016 due to ill effects of Dengvaxia. He said they will validate the cause of the child's death as well as the dengue shots given to her. Terrorism will continue to exist beyond the autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao until the community gets involved in the fight against it. Attorney Liza Alamia, ARMM Executive Secretary, announced this during the ARMM-RDP Partners Forum in Ortigas on December 7. Alamia said that terrorism will not stop once the new Bangsamoro juridical entity replaces ARMM. She said that for as long as the community does not get involved in the fight against terrorism, the problem would linger beyond several generations. Alamia is, however, optimistic that it would be stopped once the community becomes active participant in the fight against terrorism. She cited the Community Vigilance Initiative in Basilan, which forced the late Isnilon Hapilon to leave the island and transfer to Lanao. Hapilon, along with the Maute family, staged the 5-month Marawi siege that eventually led to their deaths. Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre II ordered the filing of a formal petition before the Regional Trial Court to legally declare the Communist Party of the Philippines and the New People's Army as terrorists. Aguirre said he will direct the OIC Prosecutor General of the National Prosecution Service to form a team to draft and file a petition. Aguirre announced this after President Duterte signed the proclamation formally designating the CPP-NPA as a terrorist organization. Under the law, affiliate revolutionary groups of the CPP-NPA would now also be considered terrorist groups, and anyone proving to be financing them would be held liable. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said the court must classify the CPP-NPA as a terrorist group under the Human Security Act for the group to be considered as such under domestic laws and under relevant UN Security Council resolutions. The Senate Committee on Foreign Relations approved the Framework Agreement on Partnership and Cooperation, or PCA, between the European Union and the Philippines. Committee Chair Senator Lauren Legarda said she is ready to sponsor the pact with EU along with 2 other agreements with Germany and Sweden before the Senate goes on a break next week. The idea of PCA was first broached in 2004 when the EU proposed to upgrade its relations with ASEAN member states. Legarda said the Philippines must push forward for its ratification as chairman of ASEAN for 2017. Among the benefits of PCA are customs and trade facilitation, cooperation in combating illegal drugs, cooperation in combating terrorism and transnational crimes, migration, and maritime labor. Legarda said the PCA will also allow better cooperation on political, economic, and development issues. EU Ambassador to Manila Franz Jessen meanwhile said the committee approval is a symbolic step towards the strengthening of Philippine-EU relationships. The autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao launched a 6-year development blueprint to boost economic growth and other sectors. Officials are aligning the region's goals with those of the Duterte administration. Here's our report.
The autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao launched its development blueprint that aims to boost economic growth in the region over the next 6 years. ARMM's Regional Development Plan, or RDP, targets to increase the region's gross regional domestic and reduce poverty incidence by 2022. Engineer Baintan Ampatuan, Executive Director of the NEDA Regional Planning and Development Office, said local government units have committed projects worth 4 billion pesos that are aligned with the RDP and support the socio-economic agenda of the Duterte administration. Ampatuan said investments continue to pour in despite the problem in peace and security due to the effort of the national government. Aggregate investments into the region have reached 17 billion pesos from 2012 to 2017. ARMM Executive Director Attorney Liza Masuhod Alamia said the RDP is expanding economic opportunities in the agriculture, forestry, and fisheries as niche sectors of the region. Other targets of the development blueprint include human capital development, access of ARMM communities to basic services, open and inclusive governance, and just and lasting peace, among others. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas is using recycled plastic utensils and plastic bottles for its main outdoor Christmas tree to decorate the main office in Manila this year. BSP Governor Nestor Espinilla Jr. said using recycled materials has been the agency's way of helping the environment. Aside from plastic utensils, other recycled materials used for this year's decorations are used iron bars, scrap bars, and rope lights, he said. The recycled Christmas tree was presented during the lighting ceremony Thursday night. Architect Marie Martinez, BSP Facilities Management and Engineering Department Acting Deputy Director, said the central bank has been using recycled materials for its Christmas decors for about 4 years now. She said collecting and cleaning the materials as well as conceptualization starts as early as January. Martinez said using recycled materials is among the advocacies of the BSP to help the environment and make the decorations cost-effective. Still to come, local government units are urged to invest in climate-smart agriculture. A town in Pangasinan aims to beat the world record for the biggest rice cake mosaic. These and more when the PNA Newsroom continues. The provincial government of South Cotabato has collected nearly 17 million pesos in mining and quarry taxes in 10 months this year. Siegfried Fabiano, a provincial environment management office head, said total collection from January to October increased by around 1.25 million pesos. Their 10-month collection for mining, sand, and gravel tax reached 16.9 million pesos, 15.75 million last year. They posted their highest tax collection for the year in October, worth 2.1 million pesos. Flaviano said, with more revenues expected to come in until the end of the year, they are now sure of exceeding last year's collection. Out of the total tax collections for the period, he said the provincial government share has increased to 6.66 million pesos. Flaviano said the local government is just around 1.7 million pesos short of its total collection target of 18.7 million. A think tank urged local government units to invest in the development of a climate-smart agriculture that fits the needs of the community. A new policy note from the Philippine Institute for Development Studies, or PIDS, analyzed chronic food poverty and how it is affected by weather variability. It is found that food poverty is higher for households that experience rainfall deviation than for similar households that do not. The PIDS said community-based development of agricultural and livelihood practices harnesses can improve climate change adaptation. The study said the Climate Change Commission can enhance their technical assistance by providing LGUs an annual technical workshop on crafting proposals with strong climate change adaptation initiatives. It further called on the government to explore adaptive social protection initiatives that support pro-poor climate change adaptation and disaster risk reduction, such as Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program. The Department of the Interior and Local Government in Negros Oriental has yet to receive a copy of the order to dismiss and disqualify Governor Roel Degamo from public office. Degamo was dismissed for the alleged misuse of the 10 million intelligence fund from the province despite not being part of the approved 2013 budget. Provincial DILG officer Dennis Quiñones said they cannot act without the order issued by the Office of the Ombudsman. Quiñones, however, said the Ombudsman decision is not yet final and subject to appeal. The Ombudsman ordered the dismissal of Degamo after he was found guilty of grave misconduct for the alleged misuse of the province's 2013 budget. Degamo is already serving a 90-day preventive suspension for another case involving alleged misuse of the province's calamity fund. Meanwhile, Oscar Valdivieso Matalam, Cotabato Vice Mayor, was suspended by the Ombudsman for failing to disclose the true amount of his properties in a statement of assets, liabilities, and net worth. The 30-day suspension of Valdivieso started on Monday, December 4. DILG Cotabato Provincial Director Ali Abdullah said Valdivieso's case stemmed from his miscalculation in the amount of the properties he declared in his SAL-N. The Ombudsman had deemed a case of simple negligence. The municipal government of Calasiao, Pangasinan is celebrating the annual Puto Festival with a shot at the world record of the biggest rice cake mosaic. Here's our report.
Tourists flock to Calasiao, Pangasinan for the Puto Festival today, December 8, as the municipal government installed a rice cake mosaic more than 200 square meters. Melanio De Vera, Executive Committee Chairman of this year's Puto Festival, called on all townsfolk to help the municipality of Calasiao put up the new world's largest rice cake mosaic record in the Guinness World Records. The existing biggest rice cake record of 12 feet in diameter is currently being held by Mapugo, South Korea, which it garnered during the 12th World Rice Food Festival on October 7, 2007. More than 100 traditional puto makers were mobilized this year to prepare the rice cake mosaic. Representatives of the London-based Guinness World Records were invited to witness the record-breaking feat. Calasiao, a first-class town of Pangasinan, has adopted puto as its one town, one product. Dubbed as the white gold of Calasiao, the small round rice cakes have made the town famous all over the world. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Ben Tishorna.
The Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines announced the death of Iligan City Bishop Elenito Galido on Tuesday at age 64. Galido was rushed to the Mercy Hospital last week and has been in a coma at the intensive care unit until his death. Galido was undergoing medication after he was diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver a few years ago. He was also diabetic. Pope Benedict XVI appointed him as Bishop of Iligan in March 2006, making him the fourth prelate to lead the diocese. He was born on April 18, 1954 in Managok, Malaybalay City, Bukidnon. After finishing his theology study at the St. Francis Xavier Regional Major Seminary in Davao City, he was ordained a priest on April 25, 1979. His episcopal ordination was on September 8, 2006. He was serving as chairman of the Commission on Culture of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines. Galido was also among those in the forefront of the Church's efforts to help the thousands of families displaced by the war in Marawi City. Up next, 2 Paralympian powerlifters joined the World Para-Powerlifting Championships in Mexico. Police undergo spiritual reformation by reading the Bible as the PNP rejoins the war on drugs. These and more when the PNA Newsroom returns.
Dito ngayon tayo sa Old Capitol. Dito sa Sultan Kudarat, which is a town of Maguindanao. For the launching of the Bangsamoro Assembly na magbibigay ng suporta para sa Bangsamoro Basic Law. At ang darating nating panauhin dito ay walang iba kundi ang ating Pangulo, President Duterte. Yung bagong version ngayon ay yun ang babalangkasin sa Kongreso. Maaring magkaroon ng objection pero ito ay malaking hakbang para umusad talaga itong usaping pangkapayapaan dito sa Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao. Dito may papakita ngayon ng mga tao ng ARMM na sila ay sumusuporta sa isang batas na magbibigay ng katuparan sa mga kasunduan o usaping kapayapaan. Parang nung nakaraan, nung magkaroon ng final peace agreement ang MNLF at saka ang gobyerno, nagkaroon din ng batas, yun yung Organic Act for the Autonomous Region for Muslim Mindanao. Kaya nagkaroon ng ARMM at naging governor si Ms. Wari doon.
Ang akin, it must be inclusive. Lahat. Walang maiwan dito sa peace talk na ito. MIMF, MNLF, lahat na lumat, kailangan kasali.
So, peace agreement pero may law that will implement the agreement. Yung Organic Act noon ng ARMM, nagkaroon ng plebisito. Ito ring BBL na to, pag naipasa ng Kongreso, babalik ulit dito para magkaroon ng plebisito. Magandang senyales na nakikita natin na umaabot na sa kulang-kulang na 700,000 ang sumusubaybay ngayon itong activity na to, itong okasyon na to. Para pagdating ng referendum para sa BBL, pagpasado na sa Congress, ay mapapadali, maraming boboto.
But I will only work with one thing in mind. There must be one nation for all and one republic for all. The Republic of the Philippines for all of us, Moro and Christian.
Malaga ho dito ay naging successful yung pagtitipon ng mga Bangsamoro people dito, MILF, MNLF, yung mga sultan, para mas malaki po ang tsansa, posibilidad na maisakatuparan yung Bangsamoro Basic Law at may tatag na yung Bangsamoro Autonomous Region.
Paralympians Adeline Dumapong Ancheta and Agustin Kitan will compete this Saturday in the 2017 World Para-Powerlifting Championships in Mexico. Ancheta will compete in the women's over 86 kilogram category, while Kitan will see action in the men's up to 65 kilogram category. Both events will be held at the Gymnasium Juan de la Barrera at the Benito Juarez Sports Complex. The World Para-Powerlifting Championships is one of the qualifying tournaments for the 2020 Tokyo Paralympics. Ancheta and Kitan are among 4 Filipinos sanctioned by the International Paralympic Committee. Akel Guion finished 8th in the women's up to 65 kilogram category, while Romeo Tayawa placed 13th in the men's up to 40 kilogram category. The athletes, together with Coach Ramon De Buque and Philippine Paralympic Committee Executive Director Dennis Esta, arrived in Mexico on November 29. Ancheta is the first Filipino to win a medal in the Paralympic Games, where she bagged the bronze medal in Sydney, Australia. Kitan, on the other hand, won the bronze in the 2017 Kuala Lumpur SEA Games. F2 Logistics pulled off a victory over newcomer Iriga City in the quarterfinal round of the Chooks to Go Philippine Superliga Grand Prix at the Phil Oil Flying V Center. Imports Kennedy Bryan and Maria Jose Perez scored 14 and 12 points respectively for F2 Logistics. Serbian import Tamara Mezic top scored for Iriga City with 15 points, while Japanese Sama Miyagawa chipped in 10 points. F2 Logistics Ramil de Jesus stressed the need to win every match as they move towards the semi-finals. They will each face the winner between Signal and Coco Life in the sudden death semi-final scheduled on Saturday at the Mall of Asia Arena. The organizers of the Miss Universe pageant are open to holding the competition again in the Philippines. Miss Universe organization President Paula Sugart said they entertained the idea following the successful hosting back in January. Tourism Secretary Wanda Tulfo-Teo admitted she wanted to achieve at least 2 Miss Universe hostings under the Duterte administration. Sugart and Tulfo-Teo on Thursday dined together with Miss Universe 2017 Demi Lee Nell Peters and Miss Universe 2016 Iris Mitener at the Dusitani Hotel in Makati. Tulfo-Teo encouraged the beauty queens to come back to the Philippines and participate in the Bring Home a Friend program. The DOT's campaign encourages Filipinos and expatriates to invite their foreign friends to visit the country and win exciting raffle prizes. The Miss Universe delegation toured around Metro Manila with stops at the Rizal Monument in Luneta Park and Fort Santiago in Intramuros. The title holders will also visit Batanes, Bohol, and Camiguin. The Philippine National Police has included Bible studies in the training routine of policemen. The PNP stressed the need to revisit their moral values as they prepare to return to the war on drugs. Here is our report.
Members of the Philippine National Police are now made to read the Bible as part of their spiritual reformation as they return to the government's war on drugs. PNP Training Service Director Superintendent Elpidio Gabriel Jr. said integrating Bible studies would lift their moral aptitude and gain a more humane outlook in the performance of their duties and functions. The PNP is now focusing on the COP's spiritual reformation in conducting its internal cleansing program they call Focused Reformation, Reorientation, and Moral Enhancement for Police Officers, or FORM Police. Gabriel noted that our policemen must also have a broader perspective of their duties, including fear of God. National Capital Region Police Office Director Oscar Albayalde said that the PNP leadership has made it a point to continue and intensify the FORM police training. Albayalde said he issued a directive to all district directors to strictly implement the vetting process of personnel to be assigned to the Drug Enforcement Unit. The PNP shall also continue other refresher courses on human rights laws and police operational procedures. This is to ensure that police officers are trained, qualified, and disciplined to handle their assignment. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Bench Bondo.
Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Let's take another look at today's headlines. Health Secretary Francisco Duque says President Noynoy Aquino should clarify his involvement in the dengue vaccine fiasco. The autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao launches a 6-year development blueprint to boost growth in the region. A town in Pangasinan aims to beat the world record for the biggest rice cake mosaic. And police undergo spiritual reformation by reading the Bible as the PNP rejoins the war on drugs. The holidays are coming soon. It's 17 days before Christmas. For more stories, please log on to www.pna.gov.ph or visit the PNA page on Facebook and Twitter. And that's your daily dose of the hottest news and the latest information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm William Theo. Good day.